Hi, everyone. It's Jeanne Alleva. I wanted to continue this series about finding treasure. And in this video, the title is Finding Treasure and Telling No One. And why would we tell no one when we find treasure? Well, there are many examples of why we want to keep things a little private, at least in the beginning, to, to keep it safe for a little while. Many, many examples of this, say finding treasure in an archaeological dig. And we're many, many tales of people telling the world, and then all of a sudden they become personally harmed, or the things are stolen, or later the dig is broken into, and all of that treasure is taken away and sold. There are all sorts of tales about archaeological digs where treasure was harmed because it went out to the public too soon before it could be protected. Another example is, say you invent a technology and you tell the world, you go out on social media, and then someone else with maybe quicker means to filing a patent, or they have the money to create the prototype or anything like that, they take the idea, they patent it, and then you can't do anything with it. That's an example of you having something that could be considered treasure, and you tell the world too quickly, and then it's taken away from you. Another example could just be a simple creative idea that you share with friends and family or online. And then you get the feedback from other people, maybe naysayers, maybe maybe somebody takes the idea and creates something, and then you that original idea that you had is destroyed in that way, right? So there's a lot of reasons why we want to keep things that are considered treasure very close to our heart, close to the vest, and not share it until the time is right, until it is protected and can be shared safely. So I wanted to tell you a little story about when I was a young child and I was playing on the playground. It was elementary school, and I was literally just digging in the dirt. I was playing off by myself. There were a lot of kids on the playground, a lot of noise and chaos. But that day, I was off playing by myself, just digging in the dirt where the concrete meets the grass. So there was that little transition spot. And had a stick and I'm digging and digging. And all of a sudden, I see something with like little ridges on it, like a pattern. It just looked different than the surrounding rocks and dirt. Kept digging, and pretty soon I saw what I considered a face. Looked like eyes, it looked like a mouth, a nose. I was like out of my mind. I've always loved archaeology and finding treasure, right? So I thought I had found an ancient carving, some talisman with magical powers. I was convinced that I had found something absolutely amazing. I was so excited I could barely contain myself, but something inside me, in my intuition, said, don't say a word, tell no one. And why was that? My intuition, my inner guidance telling me not to say anything because there are playground bullies. If I said, hey, everybody, look what I found. Do you know? I know you know. Some kid's going to run over and say, what do you got? And what is it? Da, da, da. And they might destroy it. They might tease me about it. They might throw it off into the grass and I'd never see it again. So thankfully, I stayed quiet about it. I think I may have told my family. I don't know, but I kept that thing in my pocket and I tried to find out what it was. I was still convinced it was a carved treasure of some kind. Flash forward, I'm in college and I have a good friend who was a grad student in archaeology, and went on digs and things like that. I showed it to him. He said, let the faculty, I think of the geology department, I'm not exactly sure. Let me have them look at it. Well, this thing turned out to be a petrified trilobite. Now, many people are familiar with the idea of fossils, where an ancient creature is dies and in like mud or whatever, and it becomes imprinted into the stone. And then you might find a stone that has sort of something that looks like a fish skeleton or some kind of swirly thing or whatever. Those are fossils. Well, my treasure was a complete trilobite curled over on itself. So the ridges of its back, and I'll maybe on I'll try and find a picture. I don't I don't have the actual trilobite to show you right now because it is in a treasure box for my daughter, and that's a whole other story. But here's the thing. This thing was discovered based on where I found it, what it looked like, its condition and everything. 350 million years old. Absolute treasure. Absolutely amazing. This thing used to live and move around in the world, and then it died and became stone over time. It petrified intact, like a little walnut. It had curled over like a roly poly, if you know what a roly poly is. So, why am I telling you this story? The story is Ash Mufara created something called Victory with Ash. It's a free learning platform. It's going to be loaded with all sorts of world-class leadership training and all of this. It is a gift from Ash Mufara to the world. He has considered it part of his legacy, and I would call it treasure. And so, why is he not going out into the world and telling everyone what's inside? He's not. It's completely a secret right now. It's completely private. If you go into Victory with Ash, you can't share it out in the world. It is only for those that are in it. It is treasure. It is treated with respect and value, just like my trilobite, just like treasure found in an archaeological dig, just like an invention. And so this is why, because it needs to be protected, that information needs to be protected. And this applies to the new company to follow. This is, the Victory with Ash is a bridge into the new company for those that that make it into the new company or choose to go into the new company. It is all treasure that needs to be kept private, secret, close to the heart, close to the vest, because if it's shared out to the wider world, it could get stolen, destroyed, damaged in some way, slowed down. Any of these, just everything that can happen, just like in my examples, could happen to this absolute treasure of a platform and then moving into the new company. So I hope this analogy helps people to understand why information needs to be kept quiet, needs to be kept private. It is to protect it because this, like many other things in the world that have been invented or discovered or whatever, you want them to benefit the world, not just a few individuals. You want them to go out into the world and improve the lives of generations. And that is the plan for Victory with Ash and then the company to follow. We don't want to just help a few people make a buck, right? This is about lifting humanity. So right now, things need to be kept quiet, private. And once we're in there, any confidential information, it does not get shared out. Right. So I hope this analogy is applicable to kind of what we're going through right now, where everything seems a little quiet. There's a reason for it. It's because we are protecting something that is treasure. So thank you so much for watching.